Hello, everyone. This is Bentley from Kent, Washington, and I wanted to do a couple of small updates on this little bitty tank. Uh, so, as you'll see, um, probably right away, one of the first things to pay attention to is there's a pair of Blue Phantom Plecos actually just out and about. My roommate is a crazy person and literally sat still in front of this little tank for like half an hour to get these guys so used to him sitting there that they would come out and graze, looking for chunks of like that rapashi that you see those koi guppies nibbling on. And you can see the littler one out front here who's got the just really, really nice brighter blue tone, and then the bigger of the two toward the back there in the rocks. Not as bright a blue, but he's got that darker kind of inky blue and really good blue when he's kind of really flaring his fins out. And if you look really far back on the right there, you will see some like white and black striping. That's one of my L333 yellow king tiger plecos. There's one more in this tank too. So there's four teeny tiny plecos and a small group of koi guppies. And just it was an opportunity to see these plecos like out and about and grazing around and kind of flaring their fins and showing some color off. And most plecos, you almost never see them, right? They're always hiding in their caves, and we've got plenty of hiding spots, even in this small tank for four small plecos. And yes, we water change frequently because they make a mess. But look at this guy when he's flaring his fins out. Look how bright his blue is, and those two little kind of spots toward the top of his dorsal that are like almost whitish that really make that blue pop. That spot pattern, just such a pretty little fish, and you can see why. Like, even though I kind of am not big on the big plecos like these guys will eventually become, they just look so good I couldn't say no when I got them. Um, but uh, as we kind of watch them just swimming around, grazing, and doing something we don't see plecos do very often, which well, most time all the really cool colored plecos are super reclusive, and they typically only come out at night. Sometimes you can get them so conditioned to everything that they think nothing is there. Uh, so if you've got the patience to sit in a small tank for half an hour to an hour completely still, make no noise whatsoever, and just watch, you can get stuff like this happening. Now, the other reason why I want to show is those the koi guppies in the back, sometimes called the rummy nose guppy. You've probably seen Cory from Aquarium Co-op talk about these. These are actually his fish. So when he took apart a bunch of the tanks in his fish room to build the now really awesome Mabu Studios for real fish talk, um, a bunch of his koi guppies that he had that he could not get fry out of went to Aquarium Co-op. I'd been on the list for a long time for these fish just because they were having trouble getting them in. Cory got his batch, and then really after that, they couldn't get any more. So I thankfully got called just because I have a really good relationship with the staff there at the store. Um, and they had five. Two females. You can see the big female right there who's looks pretty gravid to me. Hope it looks pretty gravid to you. You can see the king tiger pleco really shifting around the back. Sorry to sound like all sporadic, but the few times he kind of shifts and you can really see him in the back in the rocks there. Um, it's like a little treat because I have to go really looking for those guys. And there's a second one in there too. He hides behind the piece of wood that's in the very top of the right corner with all that Sawasser tang on it. He always hides behind that in a little crevice on the underside of the wood. That's his or her spot, and then the other one is always in that little spot on the rock. So like I can kind of see him, but at the same time, like they'll as they get a little bit bigger, they're going to get moved to a much larger tank than this one. This is just kind of an early hold them over, tied them over. I quarantined them in here along with these guppies, kind of all at the same time. Um, so anyway, back to the guppies. There were three males, which one of the three has this cool, like lower sword protruding from his tail. It actually looks really awesome, and he does swim around in the camera here a few times. But yeah, this guy right here, you see that low sword coming out in that super long dorsal? Just really pretty fish. Lots of orange in the males. I honestly think the females of these actually look better just because they're big white bodies, a big ring of red. It's an orangey red. It's a little probably looks a little more orange on here, but it is a good like nice orange red color in the tail and the big just spot on the nose. They're such pretty fish. Well, um, Cory could never get fry out of these guys, and with only two females and three males, this little female, the littler of the two females you see her, she's actually put on a lot of size since we got her. She was, you know, barely any bigger than these males, and so she's put on a bit of size, and I'm hoping that I can get fry out of her. Uh, well, the big gravid one, um, we've been watching and watching and watching her, and this footage here was all taken a couple of days ago. So this was, I think, either last Friday or Saturday, with today being Tuesday the 23rd. And then you can see these guys just swimming around, and like the little ramshorn snails and stuff that are in this tank. But you can see these guys, these plecos just rooting around. That's how like still and quiet my roommate was. Like just they're not afraid of anything. And the blue phantoms are a little more boisterous than some of the other ones, but they're more reclusive than the green phantoms. The green phantoms tend to be out even more than them. So to see them kind of out and not afraid, and you can see that guy just latching onto that piece of rapashi there, getting himself a little bite. Um, but yeah, just look at the blues, and you can see the difference between the two, right? The other ones are much brighter, almost like sky blue tones. This guy's got that nice kind of like little bits of like royalish inky blue in there. Very, very good looking fish. So let's go back to the gravid looking female. This morning I'm leaving for work and go to look at the tank, and we happen to see this. Might be very hard to see just because the camera has so much trouble focusing. But there's teeny tiny fry, day old, brand new, and you can see the snails. So you have a pond snail and a ram's horn, and this ram's horn is about the size of a nickel. And you can see how tiny this fry is. And there's another one in the back. You might have seen it. Um, so I leave for work, and my roommate, being the crazy person he is, sits very, very patiently and films the mother. So the first thing we did was we took the other three males and the other female out to protect the fry. And you'll notice that even this mother will chase the fry if the babies get too close. So a good reason why potentially we weren't seeing fry out of these fish from other people is that they're probably just stone cold killers and eating all the fry before they ever have a chance. So with all the other adults out, we watched, and we got this clip down from a bunch of footage so that you can actually watch fry dropping straight out of the mom. That's kind of really awesome to watch. So um, you'll see right here, there we go. It's four fry, and they just unfurl from those little balls, and a couple will just kind of sit, and you'll see, and like the next clip, they'll start swimming too. And as long as they don't come up toward her, right around her face, they're safer for a while. Eventually, she tried to hunt some down. But there you go. You can see like there's like 6 or 7 dropping right here, and some of them swimming right away. So just teeny tiny little things, white dots. And then in this final clip, you'll see one doesn't get away. But I just wanted to show this really awesome experience to see these fry being dropped. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you have an absolutely awesome week. Enjoy your fish, my friends.